Hello. Once again I come before you as a representative of the Illuminati. You may call me the Man. Well, this week's topic is a little touchy. There are really strong emotions on both sides of this topic, but people keep asking us over and over, so I thought I'd weigh into it. People are wondering if the Illuminati is trying to take away the guns of hard-working Americans. Now this, of course, is a problem mainly in America. Somehow some people think that we are trying to limit their access to firearms, and it simply isn't true, because we in the Illuminati, we understand something that, well, most of the world doesn't seem to get, and that is, to the American psyche, to their culture, guns equal safety. It's how you protect your home and your family. It's how you show yourself a responsible adult in many places in the United States, and we're not into changing that. Now we understand, of course, in certain European nations and other parts of the world, guns are looked at as something that are, well, basically they're very dangerous. And that's true, because guns are dangerous. That's their purpose. They are there to harm. They're there to kill. You don't take a gun into the woods to wing an animal. When you go hunting, you're there to kill it. And when somebody breaks into your house to kill your family, well, chances are you're going to kill them too. So that's, that's what a gun's for. And so we are also equally not interested in forcing guns on the Europeans. They're not really all that interested in it. Americans are very much interested in it. And it goes back to what I've told you before. This is the way we operate. We in the Illuminati, we subtly influence culture. That's how we do things. We're not about overt control, okay? Because if you push somebody, they push back, and that's just the way it goes. You can force a certain part of the population to do certain things for a temporary basis. I mean, there are totalitarian governments all over the world who show that on a daily basis. They crack down on their people, and the thing is, those people always try to get out from underneath their thumbs or crack back. And so yeah, that's the way things work. Now, in order to enact real change, to elevate humanity, to enlighten, you have to change the way people think. And you can't really do that if people are upset. So we're not trying to take away the guns from people who are in America. We're not going to do that. And we're not going to force guns on people who don't want them. We want you guys to feel safe and secure, so you will be more receptive to our ideas. And stop all this fighting and bickering. Gosh, I mean, we've done some really nice stuff in the last few months. Nobody seems to have noticed, because they're always back and forth. Now, I'm not saying that certain governments are not trying to take away your access to weapons. I get that. They really are. And it usually happens right after one of these mass killings, and this appalling behavior, this misery on such a scale that makes, it makes global news. Well, it brings out knee-jerk reactions, the problem is this, problem is that, problem is the other. And politicians, of course, are usually trying to figure out the easiest way to limit damage or solve a problem. Naturally, they blame the weapon. They blame the gun. If we only had, ammunition that fired 3 rounds instead of 20 or 10 or whatever, that's their first way they're going to go. They're going to go the easiest route possible, instead of tackling the overall big problem that's right there, behind the scenes. In this case, it's the mentally ill. How do we deal with the people in our society who cannot help themselves? How do we bring them into a full life, or as full a life as they can experience, so they do not hurt themselves or other people? That's the main problem, and that's a big problem to tackle. That's going to require some deep thought and some decisive action. And, people are going to argue about it. It's much easier to blame the gun. Much, much easier. And it's true that if you took away guns, then there would be very, 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 very limited access for the mentally ill to get them and to shoot a lot of people. That's very much true. They would probably go to stabbings like they have in China instead, where 30 kids were killed by random people stabbing each other. I mean, it's just... We recommend going to the main problem, the mentally ill. And anyway, yeah, so we in the Illuminati are not interested in that. The federal government may or may not be interested in that. There's really not a lot they can do about it. It's in the Second Amendment. It's right there underneath the freedom to say what you want to and freedom to worship whomever you want, and then bam, there it is, guns. You know, it's so until the majority of the Americans agree that guns are a bad idea, then yeah, you're gonna have guns. Congratulations. Try not to hurt yourself or anybody else. You know, most of the deaths that happen are suicides, and then you have your police, your criminal actions. You know, your accidents and stuff like that. There's actually a very small minority of shootings that are mass killings, and it'd be great if that was even smaller or didn't happen at all. So let's go tackle that real problem. Hey, Congressman, whoever you are watching this, Senator so-and-so, President Obama, you know, tackle the real issues. And I'm sure your brethren across the sea will do the same thing. But anyway, yeah, that's our statement on guns. If you have any other questions, just leave them in the comment section below. And especially if you're all worked up about all this, you know, people are going to come take my firearms, or they're not going to let me go hunting anymore, or, you know, from my cold dead hand, you know, kind of stuff. Charlton Heston quote. Man, that guy could coin a phrase. Anyway, yeah, if you're really worried about that, or just go outside and, you know, just relax. Just stand out there in the open air, look at the great, wonderful world that's around you. Just see all that stuff, and if you happen to gaze up into the sky and you see those chemtrails blazing up there, I wouldn't worry about that. I'd just relax and breathe deeply.